Took a minute to grind this morning. That's not good. Come on in, everybody. We see you out there. I'm going to run over to my Facebook and switch things around before we really get started here. Just to try to avoid confusion. And I'm not up there yet either. There we are. All right. Change that to public so that folks can come in. Got it. All right, folks, come on in. We see you out there. All right. Comments are live. Comments are live. We're live. It's the 28th of June, 2024. This is Comics by Night. We're glad you're here. Chat's live. Hit that like, hit that love button. And we'll get the show on the road here. I feel low energy this morning.
Oh.
We got a great book to finish today, The Legacy of Jack Kirby. We'll get to that right after this.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
Exactly.
That's how I feel at the moment.
Yeah, me too. Morning, everybody. We got a great book to look at. Welcome to Comics by Night. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work, my comic work, over at aerocomics.store. We can find such great books as Paragon and Calico, which is a great fantasy title. A lot of fun. The Fool, superhero book, guy who dresses up in a funny outfit and fights street crime with a yo-yo and rubber chicken. Alice in Chains, a young girl breaks out of her test tube and escapes from the lab that created her, finding out she can shoot little chains with hooks out of the palms of her hand. You know, happy stories.
Yeah, what an amazing thing to find out.
All amazing stuff over there. And soon there will be a very, very limited amount of the Shadow Kingdom book available over at aerocomics.store. The overruns, we're just going to sell them out and get them on the way. So we hope that you'll keep an eye on aerocomics.store. There's also a subscription service over there for $5. You can bounce around our ever expanding digital library, which is what I've been doing the last couple of days. So converting all of our print files into JPEGs so that we can load them up proper into Reader or whatever magic Luke's performing over there. Aerocomics.store there, though. Go over there and take a look. Also with me this morning is Mr. Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher, and I've spent 40 years in graphic design. What I was doing there, I've got no idea. And I've just realized, I keep telling people I've published 11 books. Well, actually, it's 12. I write about, it's probably 13 now. I write about sport, manned space flight, JFK assassination, children's books. I like to travel, as everybody knows. Easter Island, remotest place on Earth. Got a book about that. Humor books, science fiction novels, another one, and also a book about my dad, who was a paratrooper in D-Day. But relevant to this show, I wrote about Jack Kirby, my visit to see Jack Kirby at his home in California in 1988 and 1991. And if you contact me, you can get a film of the event. And if you go to fundmycomic.com, you can also get a copy of my character Hatch's annotated book, which details his life and how he came to be, and lots of published and unpublished artwork in that. You can also get one of them, which is a sketchbook. And I also publish Comics Unlimited magazine, which is a 100-page magazine about comics, which comes out every now and again.
And in his spare time, he tries to sleep.
Yeah, well, yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly. All right. Also joining us this morning is Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself.
Bloody hell. That was a lot of books. My name's Russ Leach. I'm a comic book artist from the UK. I don't have that many books sitting beside me, I'm afraid. I've got some old ones here. But, you can find out about me at russleach.com. Worked on all kinds of things in the past: Batman, Doctor Who, worked for Marvel, bits and pieces, Panini, Warner Brothers, all kinds of stuff. But now I'm focused on my own books. Only Death Can Save Us being a very important one. But right now, I'm on a sword and sorcery journey. As Randy suggested, there are still some books available at the Arrow store very soon, once they've gone out to the backers of the Shadow Kingdom. Wonderfully adapted by Randy. And there's more on the way. The Atlantean is on the desk right now. So there's more black and white sword and sorcery goodness on the way. Also, we have a publisher a Portuguese publisher in Brazil producing the books, Red Dragon. Go check them out. And also Critical Blast will also be producing retail versions of the stuff that we do produce for crowdfunding. So check all of those things out, or any projects, all the stuff that we're doing, all the work that we're producing, Sword and Sorcery, Robbie Howard, everything you want to know. Find out about that by being on my email list. You can sign up at russleach.com for the email list. It's very simple. I want nothing from you but your email, and I will keep you informed about all the projects and what's going on in the world of Russ Leach. russleach.com email list. There you go. That's it. That's the message for today.
I'm gonna go through and clip Cleavon Little from Blazing Saddles real soon and have him go, excuse me while I whip this out. Show off all of our books. There we go. And we are looking at this fantastic hardback book, The Marvel Legacy of Jack Kirby. It's upside down.
That was for our viewers in Australia.
Yeah. A little bit more coffee, we might actually be competent. Here we are. Let me edit my name down to a point. There we are. So you can see that better.
Look at that. That's
Marvel
nice
Legacy of Jack Kirby. That's the wonderful slipcover.
Lovely.
To the book. There's the actual book. The Celestial on the cover. And more Celestial. It's wrap around.
Oh,
look at that.
Look at that for an image. The sky is full.
Yeah. Just fantastic stuff. Great work from this guy, Kirby. Oh, yeah, where'd we leave off?
Yeah, who'd have thought? Didn't we leave off? Was it the Fantastic Four we left off there? Or was it the Inhumans? Oh, it was X-Men.
We were at X-Men.
Yeah, we did the X-Men.
We were a little farther than X-Men. We were right up to Inhumans.
I think we were just going into the Inhumans, weren't we? And their own
book. It was well beyond this. Yeah.
Nice to see it again, though.
There it is.
There you go. There's a little.
Let's just start at the beginning again.
Who'd have thought that you'd have put a little tag in there to?
Yeah.
We'll
run another 4 episodes going back over the book now. Yeah. Inhumans, Kazar. One whole page dedicated to Kazar with Craven.
Look at him go. Man. Look at him go.
We said last week that Sam Granger did some really good inking on that guitar thing. Should have done more.
Yeah. Inhumans. See it. There we are. See it all right this morning. What a classic classic splash page there.
I think Medusa needs to get her head shaved.
Yeah. That'll like I keep saying, they only did that to save the budget, and they still didn't bother to read the comics.
I'd rather they didn't put her in it than because that's the point, isn't it?
Exactly.
Look at that.
Yep.
Wow. Look at that.
What a great cover.
even Stan didn't spoil that cover with a blurb.
There you are.
I think he must have missed that one. You know, because I would expect a flash over Crystal's leg saying, "You got it, true believer," or something. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a clean cover, isn't it?
Yeah. Brilliant.
One family meets another. Right there. All these great pinups that he did, the different Inhumans.
When Kirby's writing the FF, he writes like, I don't know who wrote the 24 series, but he writes like they do in the way of, he'll introduce a character and you go, wow. And then the next character that comes along is twice as good as that one. And then the next one's twice as good as that one. It just keeps escalating all the time. Crystal looks a bit mad there, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
When I say mad, I mean insane.
Crystal is short for crystal meth.
Losing her mind. Just imagine being a young, impressionable kid and running across all these characters. Just phenomenal stuff.
I was that kid.
Yeah, I remember it well.
Yeah, I do. This is where I came in. Well, a bit before, but this is just why my brain has never been right since.
My big Kirby wow moment was, I think it was New Gods #2, where they pull Seagrin out of the bay, and never saw Seagrin before. No. And you're like, who's this guy? This guy's cool. What the heck? And he's dead? What do you mean he's dead? What's going on here?
I always thought Mantis was a great character that was only in a couple of times.
Yeah.
Look at Triton swimming there.
A lot of crazy, great imagination here. Yeah.
Oh, Lockjaw is fantastic, isn't he? He's great, Lockjaw, isn't he? Look at that.
That image, just the way that they're running towards him, it's just so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's just so solid.
And she says it's Lockjaw. So go on.
I think that's part of the magic of Kirby's art, is that it is bizarre in so many ways, and yet it has a physical presence.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really weird aspects to thinking that, because if you were to see any of these characters transferred into real life, you'd go, "Oh my god," and run a million miles. You know what I mean? They look really weird.
Yeah.
But there's this three-dimensionality to Kirby's work, especially when the inking is done just as well as this.
Yeah,
and yet it's bizarre, and then that I think that's part of his magic. I think that's part of what makes Kirby unique compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's just so even like all this is. Okay, I know the guy's coming. I know Lockjaw is coming through some kind of warp in reality, but they're just. It's not an action. It's not like a big fight or anything. They're just running towards him. Say, "Oh, hello, Lockjaw." Pet the Lockjaw, but it's full of insane energy and movement, and it's exciting, and it's a very sort of inconsequential panel when you put it up against, I don't know, Galactus coming to kill the planet, you know, and all of his panels had that in it. Even the panel down the bottom right where she's hugging him, that's innocuous, really. And look at it. It's just you could put that up on your wall, just that one panel. And that's what I think Kirby had, is just so much of his average panels you could put up as a piece of art, everything, because it was this fantastic. He was so unique. He was unique, okay, and it's just, it's hard to explain to people. You have to come to your own Kirby moment. We will talk about that Kirby moment, and you have to come to it because you can't really explain him.
Yeah. The city shrieks while the city shrieks.
He's got to be worried about those fingers, isn't he? He's got to be thinking, I must go down the skin doctor and have a word.
You know, people talk about Lee and Kirby as being sort of Lennon McCartney of comics. I don't think that's right. I think the Lennon McCartney of comics is Kirby and Sinnott.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you know it's well documented. You know, we won't get into it, but I'm not quite sure what Lee contributed other than great salesmanship and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I think Lee
Who was the manager for the Beatles?
Brian Epstein.
Epstein. Yeah.
Yeah, that's who Lee is.
Yeah,
Lee's the
Yeah.
Epstein character.
he's
He's the one that bundles it all up, makes it saleable, puts some extra bells and whistles on it for the market. But the
Mhm.
people that really generated the beauty of it would be Sinnott and Kirby.
All of the artists working at Marvel at that
Yeah,
point.
all of them.
Working
Yeah,
in this system, Ditko and Colin.
but
And, all those guys.
yeah,
We're all the creators, you know, and Lee was really a dialoguer at this point because there was so much going on.
Look at how beautiful Crystal's face is there on that picture when she's hugging Lockjaw.
Yeah.
And he's
how
got
simple it is.
He's got a little thing on his head like Black Bolt has, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Little tuning fork.
Tuning fork, yeah. But look how gorgeous she is. That's Roz Kirby right there. Look at that, how beautiful she is. And that massive dog that could eat anybody, and it's licking her face, you know. It's just fantastic.
Blow.
Yeah.
Who be neck?
And then they ruined him, didn't they, by having him speak. But there you go.
Did they have him speak?
Yeah, he was somebody.
When did Lockjaw speak?
Oh,
Ms. Marvel in the Ms. Marvel series, he speaks. I think.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, nobody follows that anyway.
They had him. He was trapped inside that body, the person, so to speak, as I remember.
Oh, I see. When was this?
This would be late 70s, wasn't it, Randy?
Really?
Early 80s.
Was it? No, I didn't know they had him speak that early.
Oh, maybe it was later then, mid 80s then. I'm not sure.
I thought they didn't address that until the silly Ms. Marvel book, and the writer didn't know what they were doing.
No, it was a shock.
A lot of that going around.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. This is a plot. Exactly.
It's great. I mean.
Not Brandeck, people. Might have to dig those up one of these days just to look at them. I don't think I've got very many of them, but got them.
I've still got my Not Brandeck number 1 from 1967. Still got the actual one about.
Blimey.
Back when you can actually poke fun at yourself.
Yeah.
And not trigger everybody.
Some great work in there from Marie Severin, as you know, and John Severin.
Incredible, yeah.
Some great stuff in there.
And Kirby, which is why he's here in the book. So
yeah. At least he sets everything off, doesn't he?
Yep. Is that's his cover there, right, Kirby?
Yes.
Introducing Forbush Man.
My Esposito.
Irving Forbush. Yep. Guy with a pot on his head.
It shows you Kirby's they're fantastic photos, but it shows you that he had a humorous side as well. Especially things like with Lockjaw we saw before. It was always a bit humorous. He was always arguing with Ben, wasn't he? Ben was always screaming at him to do something. It's really funny, some of the stuff in there with Ben and Lockjaw.
Small series of covers. Selected covers from 61 to 70.
Yeah. Sinnott inking. Fantastic.
I had that Thor issue at one point. Ended up selling it.
Those green guys jumping out of that helicopter, spaceship, whatever it is, I'm sure I've seen them in a Kirby monster book somewhere. But on this one, they've got guns. They've moved on a bit.
They look like a green version of Korg.
I don't know who's that.
Your typical lava men.
Are they? All right.
Lava men, that's it, yeah, lava men. Look at that.
I didn't. Korg is the orange bricky fella from Guardians of the Galaxy, but he turned up a lot earlier than that in comics.
Right.
He's purple.
It's
haven't seen
Korg,
that,
isn't
no.
it? I think it's Korg.
Korg.
And some of them turned up on Earth to try as an invasion, as a spearhead of an invasion, but they ended up getting beaten up by Beta Ray Bill. I think that was an alternative Earth. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was quite. Yeah, trying to remember where I read that. Bonkers stuff.
We had Strange Tales cover. Sal Brodsky inking.
Yeah.
Stop him, my pets.
Yeah.
The ants are saying, "Have you seen the size of him? You stop him."
They're pretty big, aren't they? They're bigger than Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's drawing a gun. Who draws a gun on an ant?
Bang, 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 bang. Damn, I missed.
Yeah, there's 9 million more. Look at that. I think that guy with the gun's Kirby again with that hat and that tie.
Yeah.
Like I said, in the Fantastic Four, I think Reed Richards is a good-looking Jack Kirby, and Ben Grimm is actually Jack Kirby.
Yeah. Attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things,
Tough guy.
attitudes, definitely all Kirby. Yancey Street influence. Yeah.
God, this is the issue we've been waiting for. The Hulk and the Submariner vs the Avengers. Why on earth would the Hulk and the Submariner get together?
Yeah.
And, lots
Both
of
looking
adventures.
for lots of adventures together.
So I
Buddy
can-
cop.
I can understand why the Submariner's after the FF, because he fancies Sue, doesn't he? But what's he going after the Avengers for? Is he after Jean Grey?
It's being
It's
controlled
after a
by
little
its
bit.
little
After
head.
a little bit of wasp action.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
He just hates them air breathers in general, except for Sue
And the Hulk, obviously.
and the Hulk. Yeah.
Well, Hulk would be what they call today a useful idiot, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Well, there was such a great run with those Defenders. If you've never read that, the first 50 Defenders are just incredible, because
I've got
Doctor
a di-
Strange would keep getting
Yeah.
the group together, and then at the end of their adventure, everybody would be pissed at each other, say they'll never get back together again, and leave. Screw
I've got
you!
the-
I'm out of here. Yeah.
I've got the Defenders versus the Avengers book.
Yeah. What a classic story.
The
that is.
Avengers Defenders War. Well, I mean, what a great book that is. And Sal Buscema, an
knocking it out of the
underappreciated
park.
talent,
Yeah.
because he was overshadowed so much by his brother. But his work was unique, and it's it wasn't just like a Buscema ripoff.
No, he had his own individual
Buscema
look.
ripoff. Sorry, a John Buscema ripoff. He had his
Yeah.
own feel and his own style, and it was very loose and beautiful in its own way.
Yeah, I really like
And it was
Cell
very-
on Defenders. He
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, Sal was he was all action, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
That was
I like
it was just
Sal
all
inking
He
job.
had the dynamics down, that's for sure.
yeah. Were you saying there, Glenn?
I'm just saying that I like Sal when he's inking John. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I mean,
Was it the Avengers? I'm not sure.
the
I'm not
combination
keen-
is
Yeah, I'm never keen on John Buscema inking his own work. Actually, I know you like it, Russ, but I've never. Maybe that was because I was spoiled because I saw Joe Sinnott on it and Alfredo Alcala. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Joe
You know.
Joe Sinnott is just so neat, isn't he? And I think what I like about Buscema inking his own work is how loose he is with it.
Yeah.
If you look at Robert DeTore's work currently on the Titan Conan comics, you can feel that looseness coming through in his work. Whereas another artist that I really like on that is Ernie Chan.
Mhm.
because I think he's got some of the looseness that Buscema puts over his own work, but at the same time he's got a slightly thicker brush, a slightly thicker line, and it looks a little bit more Sinnott-like in places.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a halfway house between the two. Also, I think, you know, brushing his own work, Buscema brushing his own work on Conan, okay, is a completely different thing to him doing his own on, say, Fantastic Four. You know, Sinnott was perfect for Fantastic Four, and maybe not, because I've seen a few of Sinnott's, because there's only a few that he did on Conan, wasn't there? He did do a couple, and I'm not that enamored by it, simply because it's like Sinnott seemed to be, he was perfect for the Avengers or those superhero books, but not so much for the barbarian stuff, you know. I mean, it's still always a fantastic job. He can't fail but be excellent. And I think when Buscema inked his own work on Conan, it was almost like a perfect storm, if you like. It was his work, the way that he inked it, and the genre as well absolutely fitted the looseness of it and everything about it. Although, you know, him inking himself on Wolverine was pretty impressive as well. But again, as kind of a bit more visceral, isn't it? Was it Bloody? I can't remember. Bloody Choices or whatever it was called, by Buscema on Wolverine. That was a fantastic book. Fantastic. But yeah, I mean, Joe Sinnott, you can't go wrong, can you? It's just excellence all the way down.
Same with. I agree with what you're just saying there. And if you look at these two covers, the Sinnott one on the right, and then you think, well, you know, you think beat that, and then you look on the left, it's Wally Wood, and you know, you just have done. I mean, look at those buildings. You know,
Wally Wood. Wow.
Just, you know, that's incredible. That's an incredible cover. That the Wally Wood, they both are, but that the way he's just thrown the cap off that building is just amazing. And so, it's just amazing. I nearly swore then. It's just fantastic.
But it inspires you, doesn't it? It's just like you look at it and go, "Oh, it's so good. It's so wonderful." I mean, I go back to I have my essentials. Also, I have the original Captain Britain weeklies now as well. But I go back to the essentials, and there's my Fantastic Four, where effectively, for the most part, it wasn't completely unbroken, but Sinnott did this whole run of Fantastic Four with different artists, different pencilers, and yet it just looks this such great consistency.
Well, they brought him in after, they brought him back, didn't they, after Kirby left, to make it look like Kirby's work, I think. You know, to give
there was that, but that was I think that hit me most. I wasn't that much of a fan of the Fantastic Four when I was younger, but the artwork, the storytelling, and the presentation in the reprints of the Buscema Sinnott run on Fantastic Four is probably my deepest influence, to be honest. Because it was one of the first things that I remember. I mean, I had other comics prior, and obviously, you know, they have a place. But that's the first time that I know something hooked me. Something really, really hooked me. And of course, it was surrounded by fantastic art. You know, you had Herb Trimp, and Buscema did a run on Captain Britain as well. And then in the back, you had Steranko, and you know, this. Too much goodness.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
The best of the best. Levi says, "Morning, gents. I can catch you live at 5 a.m., but not at 9 on Sunday. Glad you're here, Levi.
That's because you've just got in from the club. You've just rolled in, haven't you?
That's what it is. Hello, folks. I think the movie's inside my head. Yeah. Think of the dimensions of director he might have been. He might have been too good and not easily controlled. Orson Welles' curse. Yeah. Kirby was right person, right place, right time. I mean,
Yeah.
with all of the skills that he acquired before this, this was just the ideal point for him to let loose. And Lee was too busy, and Martin Goodman especially, was too busy to sit there and try to wheel him in. They just let him go. So you got great stuff like this.
Yeah, it'll never happen again. Not like that.
I doubt it. Yes.
You know, I've noticed on these Fantastic
in the
Four covers,
indie comics, maybe. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. These Fantastic Four covers, there's something going on, and Kirby is not afraid to either not put the FF on the cover of their own book, like he did a couple of times with the Surfer and all that. But look at Galactus here on this one. He's not afraid to give them like a secondary role. As like on the previous one with Black Bolt. Black Bolt is what we look at. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
He he's the way I can't explain it. It's like this. It's like the Fantastic Four aren't even in their own book a lot of the time because of the power and the magnitude of what Kirby's throwing in your face with the villain or maybe even another hero.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just wonderful that he would have that confidence to do that. That X-Men one there with the Sentinels. I mean, what do you see? You see this guy going to, reaching his hands out. You know, the Sentinel. Where are the X-Men? Oh yeah, there they are at the back. You know what I mean?
The Xavier down here in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
that
brilliant.
Doctor Doom one as well. That's a great one. He's reaching over the city and Daredevil's with them.
Yeah, and Daredevil's at the front of them. He's leading.
Yeah, in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Well, DD front and center because his sales were lackluster. So they wanted to promote him, the FF and the Dr. Doom around him. It's classic stuff here.
Look at that.
Another great cover.
That was one of the first covers I saw was that Thor with the Hercules there.
Yeah.
When I was about 8 or something like that, I saw that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely brilliant. See, and there's somebody else who's good at inking Kirby. John Romita, that Hulk, Submariner Hulk, top left. That's John Romita inking there. And he's obviously good inker, enough for Kirby to consider him to do in New Gods.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Romita was top notch too. So
I mean, because he couldn't get John Romita in time, we had Vince Coletta, and then of course the great Mike Royer came along.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish Mike could have inked those first few copies, issues.
He said, Levi says he did get up for the day at 5 p.m. yesterday. Yeah. Galactus versus Sphinx Fantastic Four issue cannot be erased from my childhood. There you go.
Yeah.
It was not Kirby, but it was the start of FF for him. Yeah.
And that was the other thing about the writing in there is they were prepared to let the Fantastic Four take second place for something that was expanded. So the story that always hit me was the one with the Overmind and the Stranger battled it out at the end. And there was like this. It was the Overmind was like hiding in plain sight until they had the battle with the Thing and Johnny Storm, and at the end it was all sorted out by the Stranger. It was like the Fantastic Four really didn't do anything. It was sorted out by someone else. They were just bit parts in this like cosmic story, and it's a bit like that with Galactus as well. It's great stuff.
Yeah. Chamber of
Look at that
Darkness
for a cover.
I can't say I've seen very often.
Look at that.
Don't see
Bill
that
Everett.
reprinted very
Yeah.
much. And fear shall follow. Tales to blast your brain.
Look at that fantastic
love it.
4 cover.
Oh yeah, that's beyond.
Well, I told you the story of that cover, didn't I? When I went to Jack's house, I'll do a quick plug here. It's full story in my book, folks. I was walking down. When you went into Jack's house, you went down this little corridor past the bedrooms and went to where his studio was. And facing on the wall as you walk towards his studio is that cover framed, Fantastic 400. And Ross Kirby told me the story of it. I was looking at it, I was like, wow. And she said when they got that through the post, that somebody had ripped it in half to fit in the envelope.
Oh God!
And
they didn't even fold it; they ripped it.
Yeah, they'd had it restored, and you can. And on now, when you see it in black and white, you can actually, if you look at, I'm not sure where the tear is now. That guy on the left with the silver hair, it's just under his chin, I think. You can see at the edges, on the bleed, you can see where it's been put back together again. But fancy ripping. I mean, all the ones to rip in half, it's that one.
Yeah. Wow.
It's maybe out of spite.
Well,
I don't know.
No, I think it was probably
took him
just
so long to get his artwork back.
I think it was just a lack of respect.
Yeah.
Lack of respect. Yeah.
Look at that.
Mike Royer here on this.
Yeah.
What was banging around inside that bloke's head?
God. Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Eternals.
Great inking again, though. Yeah, great inking again by Mike Royer.
Beautiful.
Absolutely, yes. Yep. It's kind of funny how he had the girl's arm stretch out like that.
Yeah, what's that about?
Get the hand out of the way.
So yeah, but it's all a bit weird as well. It looks like it might be. Has she got
stretching abilities? Maybe. Yeah.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yep. The Return of the King, 75 to 80, 78.
Oh,
another classic.
The meter again.
I think the other thing about Kirby's style is it's a perfect example of why you shouldn't draw from comic books.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should. There's no harm in copying to get your eye hand going. Do you know what I mean? And when you're younger or when you're first starting out or whatever. But you should not use comic books as a frame of reference for correct anatomy or scene building or whatever. You can use them as inspiration, but you should work out the rules for yourself so that you can produce your own style. Because Kirby's work was incredibly stylish. But I mean, anatomy-wise, it was weird and wonky in places. And that's fine because it worked. But you shouldn't use that as a set of rules of how to draw. You should work it out for yourself and come up with your own style.
Yeah, you have to learn how to draw reality first, don't you, before you start doing stuff like this.
Yeah. But you can see it in so many pages that you see out there where you can. It's obvious that people haven't really learnt the basics. They're just looking at other people's artwork and going, "Oh, that's really cool. I'm going to draw like that," and then things get missed. Stuff gets done that starts jogging the eye, and then because they continue from that point, you can't work out why it's disturbing to look at. And there's a reason. It's like drawing limbs behind limbs and things like that, and just knowing where things are, and the not following any of those kind of guidelines internally for yourself, and just following the stuff that you see on the printed page. It can make your artwork go really wonky. And I've done it myself. I had to readjust the way that I viewed my own art some time ago to appreciate where I was going wrong, what I was doing wrong. And this is not coming from a place of arrogance either. I know I'm not the finished article. I've got a long way to go.
I'll tell you something that might be frightening. Maybe Kirby wasn't the finished article either.
No.
Yeah.
Scary, isn't it? From what he did.
Yeah. HR says so many good character designs. He just throw in, not to be used again.
Yeah. Just what an imagination.
And between the point we were looking at and the point that we're at here now, he did the Fourth World material over at DC and then came back.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Just look at that. That's comics right there, folks.
Yeah. Rawr.
That's all you can say.
I'm not sure a monster punching somebody through a tree would say crash. But then again, it's Kirby, so we'll let him go.
Don't know if he'd roar like a lion either, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Mike Royer did some good work on this stuff, didn't he?
It's amazing, yes.
Look at that.
I like Thurbo too. I thought Thurbo did nice work on his work over Kirby.
The River of Death.
Great Falcon there.
See, Mike Royer did a sort of a Dave Gibbons on this Kirby work because he lettered it as well, didn't he? So he got 2 checks, which I think is a really great move. Well done,
We
Mike.
always like 2 checks.
Yeah, 2 checks is good.
2 checks Gibbons.
Yeah, he would see Mike would see Kirby's. I've said this before. The best person to be, apart from inside the office, so to speak, would be the letterers because they'd get the raw artwork. The inker got the artwork lettered. So Mike Royer saw this stuff before he lettered it. You know.
Yeah.
It's just fabulous.
Never had any appreciation for this stuff when I was growing up. It was just, oh, that guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It took me a while to really appreciate his Kirby's look and genius. And you just can't get enough of it. But back in the 70s, you know, we were all collecting and swapping comics in the backyard, and suddenly Captain America got all blocky, and here's a guy with his face in his stomach. What the heck? You know? And he kept doing all these covers. There's just Kirby covers all over the place at that point. Yeah. You just, Kirby again. You know, but it, like I said, it took a while to really appreciate his style, and just his sense of imagination was unmatchable.
Incredible.
Because, you know, who does this? Who would do this? Kirby wanting something cool to draw. Here we go. Let's put his face in his stomach, right there in his chest.
I think he started off with his body there and thought, "Oh, I've not left enough room for the head. I'll stick it in his chest.
I'll just stick it in his chest." Yeah.
that robot head he's given him doesn't work, so he put his head in his chest.
Yeah.
Great water as well.
Even like MODOK, you look at the design for MODOK, it's like, who does this? This is crazy. And then, you know, just to have it messed up in Ant-Man 3, it's terrible. It's another great panel. Look at that. This is so deceptive. You know, it looks like there's all these details, and it's just black on white, you know, just large spaces of black just put together. And yet it looks so detailed. You know,
it's fantastic.
It is. And then this is off of the Treasury. Here's this bicentennial Treasury that he did. A lot of great artwork in there.
Yeah, that's the back cover.
I was hooked right away on Kirby. Kirby and Sal Buscema. Well, see, I loved Defenders and Avengers back during that time. Just ate it up. But for me, Kirby was an acquired taste, but I just absolutely love his stuff now. I mean, you go back and you look at all, even this stuff here, it's just amazing. Just phenomenal.
Look at that. Oh.
Never
Kirby
appreciated Eternals when it was out first either. But you go back and
Kirby,
look at it now, it just blows you away.
Kirby likes a house wall sized screen, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He did it in Shield, he did it in the FF, didn't he? Giant control room type of thing.
Yeah, blow the reader's mind. Put in a 2-page spread. It's huge,
Yeah.
celestial. Yeah. Just crazy good stuff.
And John Verportnik, the Eternals, and he was a good artist as well.
Yeah.
He died
Another
too
great
young.
iconic cover there.
Yeah.
And Alien had already come out. And Chariots of the Gods was raging. Just fit right in.
This is before Alien.
Are you
Alien
sure?
Yeah, positive. This is 76. Alien was 79.
Okay, I stand corrected. Chariots of the Von Daniken books were out by then, though. The Chariots of the Gods.
They came out in the 60s, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Kirby was a big fan of that stuff.
Because there's, in Alien when they go in the spaceship at the beginning and there's that guy who's dead, that big skeleton guy. That's in Eternals, isn't it? That there's a drawing. I'm not sure whether we'll see it in this book, but there's a drawing that's obviously taken from, and Geiger saw it, and those kind of people. They are Mobius and all those people must have seen that because it's more or less a copy.
You can't get enough of that 2-page spread there.
Incredible, isn't it? And there's another one, a double spread with of a spaceship, isn't there, in this series?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Night of the Demons.
John Verportnik again, great artist. I don't know why he went doing production, didn't he? I don't know why he sort of left, but he's just so good.
Didn't he pass during this time?
He died. Yeah, he died in 1977 when age 37.
Yeah.
I know I think he died of a heart attack. I know he was a big guy, really big guy. But what a great artist as well.
Crazy good. Here's a couple of splash pages.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh.
Look at that. Look at that. Just amazing.
Ajax and Circe.
Incredible.
You don't see stuff like that anymore. Maybe an independent comic, Kickstarter, crowdfunded book.
Yeah.
You might see stuff like this, but not in modern comics.
Definitely needs to go back if people can do it. It's just incredible.
Jack Kirby and Sal Buscema had so much power in action. Yep.
You can tell he's having a lot of fun, can't you, drawing these things?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'll just
Look
sketch
at
this
that.
over here.
Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Incredible. Absolutely amazing. Great colouring as well. I wonder if that's Marie.
I don't know. It's a lot to be said for the old way of printing these comics. It gave you a lot more solids, a lot more primary colors. Just everything popped under the right hand. Yeah. That's great.
Incredible.
He is a planet killer. Engraved on his thumb. It's the formula for world destruction. If Earth fails, Earth dies.
You know his head with those sort of long lights on the top of his helmet, this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the white areas. Yeah. That always later on Close Encounters, which came out, a year after this. You know, when they're talking when the spaceship lands and they're talking to them and they've got that keyboard thing and the lights, the notes.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Hmm.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. I'm going to have to dig these out again and have another look.
There's your group. Yeah. The Overmind.
Yeah.
That was a cover.
Wow.
And then, of course,
Look at that.
there's some Kirby craziness right there.
Wow.
Now that is
It's bonkers, isn't it?
It's almost animated.
Yeah. I love Kirby's guns as well. They never draw the same one twice. They're always different. Everybody's got a different gun.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? I think some of that may be down to speed as well. I mean, he was knocking this stuff out.
Of course, yeah.
And when you have to sit there and go, right, I've got to get this gun right for everybody, it means you have to do a design of it and then do at least not a 3D model, but you have to like draw it in 3D so you kind of understand how the bits work so that you can refer back to that gun every time. When you're if you're drawing 5 pages a day, you don't have time for that.
No.
You just got to make it fun and cool and energetic and get to the next page as quickly as you can.
That's what I'm doing with my Second World War book, is having to draw the rifles and machine guns and get them accurate because I'm showing something that actually happened, you know. But
and again, it's a different the way that you're doing the book and the output of the book is a wholly different way of approaching it.
Yeah.
You know, he's on the clock and he's got to produce the most exciting stuff he can for the retail sector as quickly as possible. And he's just going bang, 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 bang. Oh, that's a gun. That's a gun. Yeah, what the hell? Looks good.
Yeah.
So you can, and the thing is he gets away with it because it's just so damn brilliant.
Yep.
I like this particular image. It's great the way it's like the reader. We have startled these guys the way they're turning around. They've seen us, you know.
Yeah.
And
what are you looking at?
Incredible. Yeah,
Exactly.
You haven't got a gun. We've got 9.
9 guns.
Look at that. Cannot be controlled.
The killing machine.
With his silver pants on. Or silver leggings. Wow, look at that.
You can see the difference in inking here. Frank Giacoya here.
Yeah. Imagine being on that ship and that guy suddenly got out of the water.
Yeah.
God.
God, yeah.
Look at that.
You can stare at that one for a little while.
Oof. That's Kirby's Arzak.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wish
Ugh.
somebody filmed him drawing all this stuff. You sit and watch that for hours, couldn't you? You wouldn't have to speed that up.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would be a blur.
Yeah. Look at that.
They're the decks for a rough welcome. It's the dragon here. It's just amazing. Not to mention the cityscape below.
Yeah, well, that's just sort of given, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow.
Black Panther. I'm just going to have him fight a giant toad.
Yeah.
Got this thing about toads, hasn't it, and frogs? There's a toad in the Eternals as well. Look at those hands. It's fantastic.
Look at this. 2-page spread here. So which one's the smart one in the room? Yeah.
He should have a pipe.
Yeah.
He's got one of those little pork pie hats, but it doesn't fit.
Yeah. Got a hatch.
Yeah.
That's an amazing face on that creature. Just
Yeah.
He doesn't look too pleased, does he? So he's making everybody fly around in a circle.
Mindless creatures, you have removed me from the hatch. I must return to the hatch. Body stretching across here. Nobody matches dynamics like that.
It makes you wonder where he starts.
Yeah. Well, center focus on this page, center focus on that page.
Yeah.
You know, a couple things to you, a couple figures to unite it. Takes you a minute to even see the girl here. So much going on. Got those Black Panthers collected.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Look at that wham. King Solomon's frog.
Yep. The walls of stones, they talk. Beware the agents of Kyber. The guy looks rather sinister. Black Musketeers. I'm just going to keep turning if we're not talking. There we go.
Yeah. Turn away. Yeah.
Little machine man here.
That was a crazy series. Machine Man.
He's a living robot.
Yeah. The best, one of the best drawings of Machine Man is when they arresting him, when he's I think it's a splash page. I'm not sure what issue. I think it might be issue 1, and they're pulling him away from the viewer, and he's got his. I don't think he's got his face on. Machine Man, the living robot. God. 10-4.
And you see in comics history at this point that Kirby's he's at such a different level with imagination and the design work and stuff. It usually takes these companies a good 10, 15, 20 years to catch up to what he was thinking about doing.
Yeah.
And most of the time the audience as well. Because none of these books sold incredibly well. Some of them sold better than others, but a lot of these series during this time were lucky to run 6 to 12 issues, and then they got canceled because of lack of sales. But these characters always end up coming back. The themes and the stories that Kirby did and always, affect the universe later. Sometimes, like I said, a decade or so later, takes them to figure out what Kirby was actually, doing with the work. It's another great 2-page splash there. Yeah. Devil Dinosaur and Moon Boy.
That Devil Dinosaur was supposed to be an animated children's Saturday morning thing.
Yeah, they changed Moon Boy to Moon Girl and did. They've done a couple seasons of that lately.
Right.
But it's not the same. It's not Kirby. Look at that Triceratops there. Just amazing.
Mike Royer was busy, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
I think I read in the Kirby Collector that he was expected to do 3 pages a day, but he had to letter them as well. Oh, I bet he never saw his wife for 10 years.
Not a fan of too much text on the covers. It's not needed. Yeah, they figured that out.
I agree with that one. I don't like the text on the covers.
Well, you don't like an overabundance of text anyway. You look at some of these 70s comics, and that there were times, when with McGregor and some of these writers, that the writing got to be almost equal to the pictures.
Yeah.
There was so much verbiage on the page. Claremont, yeah. I remember McGregor going off on a couple of almost full page prose pages in the middle of his stories. You turn the page and go, oh, text to read.
Yeah.
It's Devil Dinosaur covers. Just, again, great stuff.
I'm sure I read somewhere, I think it was Stan Lee, I'm not sure, said that if anybody puts more than 20 words into a word balloon, they're not telling it right. Somebody like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose there are exceptions, but I can see the point of that, because it's got to be direct and to the point. You don't have the, well, if you're going to explain everything, it's a book, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You're not using, if you put in 50 words in a word balloon all the time, I don't think either the artwork isn't working or you're ignoring the artwork. Click, 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 click. Wow. I wonder why ants go click, click, click. Do they do that? Do they go click?
I have no idea.
They
did in them, didn't they? They were clicking in them.
They were, yeah.
The movie Them, yeah.
Yeah,
they were clicking like that. That might be where he pulled that from.
Yeah.
They're clacking away.
These hairy creatures with modern faces.
Yeah. Now we've got a 2-page spread of some crazy psychedelic mind-blowing here.
Wow.
It's a bigger monster than Devil Dinosaur.
Wow. There isn't really anything you can say, is there? He's getting
Not
a bit
much. No.
He's getting a bit Steranko there, top left, with those eyes, isn't he? Steranko and Ditko. Look at that.
I think I'm back. Had some clicking coming over that mic cord. Yeah, just look at that. Who thinks of this?
Amazing.
Wonder what Royer was thinking when he saw that page. Holy crap.
He's probably thinking it's 10 o'clock at night. I've got to get to the house in the morning.
Yeah.
I've already done 4 pages today. I want to sit
You
down.
can really see in the later pages of Nick Fury just how much of this affected Steranko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Liberty Legion. What a great team.
Do you know, I've never seen that cover before, that Liberty Legion.
Oh, yeah. Marvel Premiere was pretty cool. They were trying out all sorts of different things through that title, and that was a companion team to the Invaders. We'll get to the Invaders here. There's a couple of Invader covers over here that are iconic. But yeah, they've spun Liberty Legion off of that. Tried to do something with that and it never caught on. Had 2 issues in Marvel Premiere. Just remember Blue Diamond and Slim Jim. Guy who stretches, I think that's his name. It might not be Slim Jim. Maybe something else. Little flat guy. Wizard was in it. Miss America was in it.
See that 70s Fantastic Four logo? It doesn't work, does it, as well as the original one?
No.
But that cover is classic with Quasar.
The cover is
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Mission into Madness.
Back when Iron Man had a nose for a little while.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of Invader covers that are iconic to me. I love these. And again, even though I didn't appreciate Frank Robbins' artwork at the time, I love the series. The series was great.
Look at that Union Jack. Isn't that fantastic?
Union Jack. Yeah, love that.
They were over in England for quite a few issues.
Yeah. Even if he did look like he had a mankini on.
Yeah, why has he got a knife? Why does a guy like that need a knife? It just knock you out, wouldn't it? Is that Bucky there? Yeah, it isn't it, Cap and Bucky?
Yeah. Bucky and Toro were part of the Invaders team.
Right.
Toro, the torch of a boy.
So that was the original Human Torch, the android Human Torch.
Yeah. Yep. That was in the Invaders. Yeah.
And what about the Toro? Is he an android as well?
No, he's actually a little boy who caught fire.
Oh, right.
I don't know if they explained him off as being a mutant or what, but he got
play
the
with
same
matches,
powers as the
kids.
Torch. Yeah, pretty much. You don't see much of him after World War II.
On that skull cover, they're advocating murder. Cap says, the Red Skull, he's back from the dead. And the Torch says, let's send him back where he came from. And Namor says, or else it is we who shall die. Well, that's okay then. Buy bonds.
Yeah.
Help pay for the war you didn't want. Moon Knight. Wow.
Doing covers for everybody back then. It's Marvel Spotlight. Just as Moon Knight was coming in. Was a villain in Werewolf by Night. Back during this time, he was a guy who was bitten by a werewolf, so his powers, the intensity or his capabilities all depended upon the phase of the moon.
Well, I bet that could be awkward.
Yeah, full moon, he was at its most powerful. Yeah, they got rid of that real quick.
If you look at that Hulk cover there, inked by Jack Abel, he's really changed that Hulk face. I can't imagine Kirby drew that.
Yeah.
Looking like that.
Hulk looks like he's just about to go off and play a gig.
Yeah.
He doesn't look particularly ferocious.
It's like a monster montage with a floating head. Yeah. Never had much appreciation for Jack Abel's inks during this time. He wasn't on his game, shall we say. There's a couple more covers. If this be death.
Joe Sinner.
They didn't complete that title. If this be death, they were supposed to. This tag here must have fallen off. If this be death, where be lunch? That was the name of the story.
Look at that. That Thor doesn't look very good, does it? Look at his arm and his leg. It doesn't look like it doesn't look right, does it?
Yeah.
What a cracking costume that was.
Yeah. Both of them. We that was it's Joe Sinnott and this.
Yeah.
It's G. Koya over here. I remember that Avengers book.
Uklo and the Living Laser. Big battle issue. I mean, let's face it, Kirby comics are just a big slugfest, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I've got Captain America with his shield back. There's some great when they did when they put Cap in Tales to Astonish, and he was in the Second World War. I think when he would throw his shield or hit somebody, the gun would shatter as well, wouldn't it? Because of the power of it. Absolutely brilliant.
Those were good stories.
Yeah. Could you imagine whacking somebody and holding a machine gun and the machine gun fires into little pieces, because you smashed it.
Yeah. You might run away at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
You might say, oh, God.
So I think for those first couple of films in the MCU, they got Cap right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did nail it with Cap. Especially the first one in World War II, that was just awesome.
Civil War, though, was just
I just love that
Civil War. Scene. The elevator scene, yeah.
That's Kirby. And the way when he jumps out, he sort of spreads his arms and legs like a
brilliant,
to Kirby,
absolutely brilliant.
But just the opening with them on the with the ship, that was Cap to me. He's talking to Black Widow like it was nothing, opens the back of the airplane and just walks
jumps
out.
He doesn't have a shoot.
He didn't take a shoot, did he? He says, nope.
Nope.
I've not seen all the film, but the elevator scene.
Yeah.
The guy who gets in and apologizes to him because I don't know what he's done. He's done something. He apologizes to him, and then he's going to stick that thing in his head, and he says, "Nothing personal, Cap." It's just great. It's just great the way he apologizes first. He's going to kill him, in about 30 seconds, but he apologizes to him first.
Does anybody want to get out?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That's
Does
just brilliant.
anybody want to get out?
Just classic, though. That's Captain America all over.
That is possibly one of the finest scenes in the whole of the MCU. I think that scene and the one in Civil War where they're all running at each other in the airplane, in the airport.
Yeah.
And that's full on comics. That's full on, being a kid. Spider-Man turns up. Yeah.
That whole airport fight is just classic. Such great stuff.
It's such a pity that they ruined it in the last few years because it was amazing. They did a good job. For the purists, you need to sort of, relax and sit back and understand that this is a movie version of what we love. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exact. It's never going to be like that. It's another representation. And for that first 10 years, they did a grand job. They really did. They did a fantastic job.
Got really close.
Really close.
Halfway through Endgame, they were pardon me, definitely comics on film.
Yeah.
That Colored Sky Masters is on target.
Mm.
Not sure where you're at. So much
These
Kirby
Nuclear.
comics I want to have. Cool. It's starting to get towards the end here, folks. Great covers.
Again, I can only speak about the elevator scene. Another great bit when he jumps. He sort of he knows that if he stays where he is, he's arrested. So he just jumps 200 feet down through that glass ceiling thing and whatever it is, and then he's just had a fight with 12 blokes sticking electric rods in him. He jumps through a plate glass window, falls 200 feet, hits another glass window, and then gets up and runs away.
Well, he put his shield in front of him to absorb the impact of the hit.
I know, but
the
it's
fall.
fantastic.
Still, it's great.
But
That's what superhero comics is all about.
He just gets up and runs away.
It's just great. You got to love it.
It's brilliant.
It gets crazier because he takes out one of the hovercrafts on his way out.
Oh yeah, is that where he throws his shield in the engine?
Yeah,
and pulls it out. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I'll have to watch it. I've got my brother bought me the box set a few years ago, and I've never watched it, so maybe I should sit down and watch it.
I've got everything up to the Spider-Man movie, with the three of them in it.
No Way Home.
No Way Home, which was I know it's it's a bit silly, but it's actually a really good film. It's very funny and it's great fun to watch. I skipped on Doctor Strange, the second Doctor Strange movie. I skipped on Ant-Man. In fact, I haven't even seen the second Ant-Man movie, and I skipped on that. Skipped on the Marvel, Ms. Marvel or whatever, Mrs. but whatever.
Yeah.
I can't stand
The
Brie
Marvel.
Larson, so I didn't want to watch that.
Yeah.
And the latest ones as well, I wasn't interested in really.
Mhm.
I skipped on the second Black Panther because it didn't have the original guy in it.
was
They
horrible.
should have recast him. I'm sorry,
they
but they
should've.
should have recast him. They shouldn't have just stopped because he didn't want He didn't want it recast. He didn't want it to stop. He wanted it to be recast, and they've just ruined that as well.
Yeah.
So
Well,
and Namor is rubbish in that from what I saw with the clips. So I didn't even bother watching the film.
just laughable, actually. Almost as bad as MODOK in Ant-Man 3.
Oh yeah, I
Cringy
wasn't
all the way
Yeah,
through.
I'm just not going to watch that crap. It's one like I said earlier. It's one thing to say, look, this isn't the comics. Okay, this is a cinematic representation. but for that first 10 years, they did a good job of getting those things across, getting the comics across, even though it wasn't, tight. But it was there was still good films. But after that, after Endgame was the Endgame. It's as simple as that. That was the end of it.
Yep.
Apart from that loose start, Spider-Man film, and even then, I haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, even though I've been told it is very good. It just sounded a bit depressing to me, so I'm not even going to bother watching that either.
The holiday special is also fun.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yeah, on Disney, it's not as bad as the Star Wars holiday special.
Oh, well, that's bad in a completely different kind of way, isn't it?
But you can see the amount of love, I guess you would say, that Gunn has for just comics in general from the way that he did those movies.
Yeah. Although I have to say, from what I've seen of the Superman movie so far, I think he's loving the wrong comics. But
yeah, I'm not 100% sold on what they're going to do to Supergirl, but
no,
a lot of that stuff, all of those pre-production stills, you can't take it.
No, I know.
I'm surprised
for what it's actually going to look like in the movie.
I'm surprised they've not changed the title to Superwoman.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I'm pretty much done with superhero films. To be honest, that 10 years, it was really good. I even enjoyed, the DC stuff. I enjoyed Justice League. It was a bit long, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Batman versus Superman. I could step back and just go, look, this isn't Batman from the comics. Just like the Nolan stuff. I mean, the Nolan stuff wasn't the Batman from the comics. That was 007 with a Batman suit on. It was great fun, and it was done in the right spirit. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But now it's all caved in. It's like I've lost interest completely. I'd rather watch a cowboy film.
Well, they've gone out of their way to kill the property and the ideal behind the what the movies were about, and that's a major shame, because they literally took a multi-billion-dollar franchise and flushed it down the toilet.
Flung it down the toilet,
just like with Star Wars. They're never going to totally recover. They might do another great movie or two, but it's never going to reach the height that they had. They had everything there in the palm of their hand.
Yeah, everything has its time. Do you know what I mean? Everything goes out of fashion eventually. But if they'd have carried on at the same standard that they were at Endgame, they'd have had another 10 years out of it, making billion-dollar movies.
Yep, many billions of dollars in movies.
But they just crapped on it. So fine, I'll go back to my comics. Not that I ever left comics in the first place, but you know what I mean. It's like, I find myself with far more reading time now.
You go back and you dig up the old stuff and just look through it and read it.
But like I said, when I was on holiday, I went back and went through 2 compendiums of Savage Sword of Conan, the Dark Horse ones, 1 and 2. I went through 2 through 2 trade paperbacks of Conan from the Savage from the Conan the Barbarian monthly. So, and I'm going to go back and get stuck into some Thor, and I'll reread that. As I was saying earlier, I'll reread that Defenders Avengers War as well, and there's so many great classic storylines you can go back and read again. And of course, when you read them when you were a kid, you pick up different things when you're an adult,
right?
So it's definitely worth going back and reading them. Oh, look, there's the proper Valkyrie.
Yeah.
It's the real Valkyrie. There you go.
Way back when she couldn't hit a girl.
Yeah.
She could beat men up all she wanted, but she couldn't hurt a woman. These are her kryptonite. Yeah.
Oh no. We're at the end.
The Marvel memories of Jack Kirby's son growing up Kirby. Yeah. You don't see that picture very often. Much courtesy of Neil Kirby. Jack at his board as a young man. Look at that. It's really a nice shot.
Hmm. That's a lovely picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Neil again. It's probably Neil up there.
Yeah. Lee missed a trick, didn't he? With only having Sinner in issue 5, and I think he came back in 44. Was it 44, 45 with the Inhumans? I mean, I know Chick Stone does a good job, but imagine if all those that 100 issue run would have been by that team.
Yeah. Here's Jack at Neil's wedding. HR says, yeah, I stopped watching here at superhero films. They're an insult to the comics. They sure are. Any more there? Maybe Wolverine or Deadpool and Wolverine might change it, but you never know. It's a lot of rumors around how that movie ends. But again, it's going to take them a long time to get back. If they never totally get back to where they were. California sun. A great shot of Kirby there at the end. At his board.
Yeah. I wonder what that drawing table's worth. It should be in that Smithsonian thing, shouldn't it?
That was the urban legend for a long time till they said it wasn't there.
Yeah, Neil's got it.
Oh, it's gone in a skip somewhere.
Yeah. What have you done with that drawing table? Throw it out. Oh,
I threw it out. It was
hey,
old.
Hey,
What's it all
listen. My work's been on Jack Kirby's drawing table.
There you go.
Woohoo!
He was giving me a critique.
They should have it on display at the Kirby Museum,
Yeah.
shouldn't they?
Should be on in a big glass casket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should be. It's HR. So it's the one-man army. Yep. And we end with what if the original Marvel bullpen became the Fantastic Four? Stan, even my fireballs won't stop that monster. Stop trying, Saul. Come on, Jack. Flow. Right. It's real life clobbering time. Get a cigar. Looks like Jack's got his eyes. That's classic. The board. This will hold him until the others in the night table. As for Jack Kirby, hardworking artist, life is a flurry of frantic pencil pushing in anticipation of the hidden change which will transform him into the Thing. Great.
Kirby's been very kind with Stan's hair there, hasn't he?
Yeah. That's it, folks. We're at the end of that book.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
I think we should just go over it again for the next month.
So we see Thor flying off. There's so much other stuff to cover.
Yeah, we need to do the New Gods saga, don't we?
We do. New God Saga. I've got a couple of copies of the Kirby Collector that's got a lot of his pencil work in it that we can go over. But this Sunday, we'll go over the trading card set.
Trading cards, yeah. Nice.
That is out of Kirby's archives. Jack Kirby, the Unpublished Archives. As with all of Kirby's creations, the Space Master blaster vehicle should overpower anything in the galaxy as it zooms past deadly meteors and asteroids towards the sun.
Meteors.
It's great stuff. That's Sunday, folks. Jack Kirby's Unpublished Archives on Sunday Funnies, 9 a.m. Then stop back by next Friday. We'll cover more great sequential art goodness. Like I said originally, I figured this would be a one episode book for us to run through, and here we are finishing up part 4. So there we are. Kirby greatness. More on the way, folks. Lots more on the way. So we're an hour and a half in. We could probably cap this episode today unless there's something more.
Yeah. No, I got stuff to do.
Yeah, I've got
There
to
we
go out. So
Worlds to draw.
Yeah.
Universes to conquer. Yeah. Folks, we really want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did going through Kirby's legacy over at Marvel. A lot more Kirby greatness to come here on Comics by Night. So, Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list there so you can find out all about the upcoming Atlantean and Cull versions of the Shadow Kingdom that we'll be producing. And there'll even be some bits and pieces about some other projects, but mostly the Atlantean. So check that out at russleach.com and sign up for the email list there.
Cool. Glenn, tell us how they can find you.
yeah, you can find me all over the place. The best thing to do is just Google my name. If you go to Amazon, you can find all my 12 books on there. And I thought it was 11, but it's actually 12. Plus magazines and stuff like that. But if you just Google my name, I think you'll find something. And you can also find me on Randy's show on Friday morning and Sunday afternoon. And you seem to be becoming a regular on Luke Stone's Nerd Bacon on Thursdays. So yeah, just look around. You'll find me if you want to.
Thursday morning at 9:00. Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure you go over to Amazon and look at the different editions of Comics Unlimited that are available as well.
Yeah, get all sorts of stuff on there. Buy these books.
Buy them all.
Buy them all. This is if you want the best one, nothing to do with comics.
Is there a best one?
Yeah. Well, this is the best one at the moment. That one. That's my trip to Easter Island, full of fantastic photographs. Nothing to do with comics, but I'm proud of that one.
All right. And folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. We do this every Friday morning at 5 a.m. Look at some great comics by night. And then Sunday morning as well at 9 a.m. We do Sunday Funnies. where we look at the more unusual material that inspires us, the great stuff that keeps us going. We are archived over at the Indie Comics Network, over at the Comic Book Black Belt and the Randy Zim YouTube channels. Go over there and enjoy. The entire archive is over on Indie Comics Network, as well as a lot of other programming. Go over there and take a look. Lots of stuff to listen to and lots of enjoyable content there as well. Folks, we ask that you go visit your local retailer, take a look. You don't have to read those modern comics if that's not your thing. It's not, they didn't make them for you anyway. But anyway, go over there and look at those boxes, his back issues, the black and white magazines that your retailer might have for sale. There's a lot of really incredibly great sequential artwork, absolutely evergreen and timeless as well. Just as enjoyable as when you read it when you were a kid, or if you didn't read it, you've got a lot of great discoveries ahead. Go through those black and white magazines, those old issues, reading copies. You don't have to slab them all the time. They're there to be read and enjoyed. So please do that. Let us know if there's something out there you want us to cover. We appreciate your input as always. And thanks so much for stopping by today to take a look or to help us look at this great Kirby book. Like I said, a lot more great stuff to come. So you can find my work over at aerocomics.store. And while you're there, take a look at the other offerings from Aero Comics. We are a group of independent creators doing our own IPs under one brand in order to help gain recognition here in this crowded comic market. There's a lot of books over there, every one of which has a quality standard that I'm personally very proud of. So go over there and take a look. Let's see. Other than that, if you're a retailer, contact us. We have retailer rates. Aerocomics.store. We'll be happy to set your store up with stuff that you can sell from our library. We appreciate you looking. There's also a subscription service there. If you want to go through our digital, ever-growing digital library, there's a lot more stuff on the way for that as well. When you get a chance, also stop by fundmycomic.com. Take a look. You can see Hatch annotated there from Glenn. Still offered the Fool book campaign. I think it's still up there because I haven't taken it down, even though it's available over at the Aero Comics store. You can get a copy of The Fool through fundmycomic.com if you want. There's the Shadow Kingdom isn't up there at the moment, but there'll be more editions of that available. If you missed out on that campaign, we'll try to make that product available to you again here very shortly. So in the meantime, folks, take care. Have a great weekend. Be good to each other. Remember that these stupid social platforms are more anti-social platforms anymore. But this art form deserves your love and your constant. If you're entertained by comics, tell people you're entertained by comics. Don't be afraid to point out the books that you love over top of the books that aren't the same quality as before, or don't do it for you. It's so easy to spread hate out there as opposed to talking positive about this art form. And there's so much great material out there that deserves your attention and for you to take a look at and to inspire you as well to do more work in this art form. Hating ain't creating, folks. Hating ain't creating. It's just a little dopamine fix that goes away after a while. And then you either have to get more or you get wise and you start doing your own work or start reading those books that you remember that you love. So, or you get out and start playing video games or who knows. Anyway, but don't do that. Comics are a great art form. They deserve they've been around for so long, and this art form is never really going to totally die, but we're just in a little bit of a hurt at the moment until the next big thing comes along, which will be any time now. Folks, thanks again for stopping by. Leave this industry in better shape than what you found it, please. Be good to each other. you see somebody out there in need of help them as much as you can. Well said. Thank you for another great show. Thanks, Levi. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And anytime you want to join us, Levi, you're more than welcome. Just get a microphone and a camera and let me know. You're always welcome on here. There's a lot of folks out there that have invitations, and very few people want to get up this early in the morning to join in. All right. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else to say? Folks, take care. Look at the other Indie Comics Network programs. Take a look over at Comic Book Black Belt, RussLeach.com. Over at Amazon, look for Glenn B. Fleming for their work, aerocomics.store. Thanks again for stopping by. Deeply appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that watches us after the fact as well. Try to catch us live so that you can be part of the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Or add a comment at the bottom of whatever platform that you're watching us on and let us know how we're doing. And if we're doing a good job, if you're entertained by us, tell your friends. Let's get some positivity out there into the market. Let's show some great stuff off. Let's remind people how great comics are. Take care, everyone. We'll see you very soon.
See ya
on the next one.
Thanks for done.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
Hey kids, you want to see some great comics? It's Comic Book Show and Tell twice a week. Comics by Night every Friday at 5 a.m. Eastern. And the Sunday Funnies every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Indie Comics Network YouTube channel.
Void where prohibited, not available with any other offers. Side effects may include loss of boredom and a sudden urge to read more comics. Check with your doctor if a sudden rash appears.
Joke's on you, bitch. I love this shit.
Oh, you silly, simple bastard.
Oh, didn't go through. Let's try this one.
Bye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.
No horseshit.
It means you're a catcher, not a pitcher.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the